You were supposed to go back and harass us again so that I had that for the intro, but because I hadn't hit record yet. So, oh well, I guess we just blew that whole thing.
That's the better intro, though. You were supposed to go back and re-say
Do you remember the part? You remember the part where you were yapping at us and complaining, and I hadn't hit record yet? That's what we're supposed to do. You're supposed to do that again, so I can record it this time. But no, as usual, we can't have nice things because of Trey. All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers of all ages. It's episode 28 of the On the Button podcast. My name is Wes. I'm here with Ian and Trey, as we always are when we do these sorts of things. Well, not always. We did have an episode where Ian was dead, but you're back now, so we appreciate that. Two. We missed you for a second?
When I got back from Denver.
Oh, I vaguely remember this.
Yeah. That's
right.
Too.
Yes, you did. We did that little emergency episode when they banned Django, and you missed that one. That's true.
Yeah,
so we've had a couple where Ian was dead, but generally Trey and I are always here. But anyway, guys, welcome in. It's a new day in Star Wars Unlimited, guys. Rotation is behind us now. A Lawless Time is here. What have you guys been up to? What's real life been doing for you?
You don't give me an opportunity to mess up the countdown now, so I have to bite
exactly
my tongue,
right.
So
right.
But see, that pushes me, and now I just want to scream when you're going, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I got to mess up something.
Oh, you'll find a way. I have every confidence you'll find a way.
It.
I will find.
I'm the ruiner.
I'm confident. We can't have nice things. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. No, seriously. What's life been? What's been life like for you guys?
Well, for me, let's see. I'm getting ready to buy a condo.
Where? Oh, is this
Nacogdoches?
In Nacogdoches for your daughter. Right. Okay. Yeah. I was for a minute there. My brain was like, "Why are you buying a place in Galveston?" That was my immediate thought.
Never mentioned Galveston.
Well, I know that, but there's a lot of condos down there, right? That's one of the few places you can find a lot of them. So,
okay.
Anyway,
let's see what else I haven't done. I played cards this week, and I'm so excited about playing cards this week. Like I'm going over what I've done this week. I on Thursdays I talk to my daughters, so like I call my daughters and that we like have a little chit chat, catch up on the week. Just you got to put time into a relationship, and so I do that. And like I've talked to them both today and just gone over like, and I just I watch TV with my wife on Monday, and then Wednesday we normally have something else, so I watch something else with her, but we didn't have it this week, so I watch something else. But then like I gloss over all that and then just gush about playing cards, which they don't care about this game at all. And I had so much fun, and I'm so excited about this game that I like gush about how excited I am about playing these new cards to my daughters.
Okay,
and they were very patient with me.
Ian, what about you, man?
Just working, chilling. Building tons of Twin Suns decks. I'm super into building Twin Suns decks right now.
All right, then. Look at you. Well, we'll talk more about that later. It's definitely on the list.
What about you?
Man, what have I been up to? Been working a lot. Not like excessively. Just it feels like I get up, I go to work. I've got whatever ridiculous calamity of the day is to solve, depending on what the client has tripped and fallen into, and then we get that cleaned up, huh?
How old are you now?
40. Hang on. What year is it? 48.
You're 48. Oh my God. So you've got to be like, if you're not there yet, you've got to be right on the cusp of getting to that age where you have minions and you don't have to do as much work.
So yes and no. I'm also in a position in my job where I'm more on the leadership side of things. So, but they don't work for me. It's more like I work in the leadership team in support of the guys that are actually doing the work. So to some extent, I'm a minion for both the project manager and the discipline leads, depending on whether you're talking about piping or mechanical or electrical or whichever discipline we're dealing with. So,
all right.
And then I have my own list of things that I have to solve on any given day. That's like, this is your problem. Your responsibility is this area. Fix it. So just dealing with a lot of that crap. We did a lot we had pre-releases have come and gone. That was a great weekend. I'm running away to the Hill Country next weekend. I'm looking forward to that.
Ooh,
so
nice.
Anytime I get to run away to the Hill Country in the spring is a good weekend. So yeah, some friends and I we're going to rent a house in Fredericksburg for a couple days and just go hang out and just not be in Houston right? For his
That sounds
birthday.
awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a good
that
time.
sounds great.
It's going to be miserably hot next week, but apparently right as we get into town, there's supposed to be a cold front come through and like knock it back to where it's like normal spring temperatures, not this 90-degree
Right.
whatever crap we're going to have next week or something.
Yeah.
So, plus baseball season is almost here, right? Opening day is next week. I'm stoked. I'm excited. I'm ready for that.
I like the first week of baseball, and then I like the playoffs because everything in between.
You're one of those.
I hate. No, I have very good reasoning for it.
Oh,
wanna
you
know
do?
Why? I do, because I have been to base because I care a lot about sports, and I want to root hard, and I want to be there, and I want to like. I give a lot of. I mean, I give football. I give a lot of myself
You
into
do.
rooting it.
It's true.
And
You
I went to a baseball game. It must have been 20, 25 years ago now. And I went to an Astros game, and I sat there and I watched the players not give a crap about that game because there are 162 of them. And I, in the stands, cared more about that game than the players on the field. And I realized that when I saw them half-assing it around, and I went, oh my God, why am I investing all this time in the middle of this marathon season? This is dumb. And then since then, I played baseball growing up. I enjoyed playing the game. I was a huge Astros fan. The only time I think I've cried as an adult is when the Astros won the World Series in 17. So I do care, but I just don't care about the middle of it because the middle of it is just a slog, and even the players don't care about it because there's too many damn games.
I went to 81 Padres home games one year because I had season tickets. Didn't miss a game.
dedication. That's dedication.
They won 23 of those games, bro.
So you savored those wins, man.
Oh yeah.
Baseball's a very interesting sport. It's an individual sport and a team sport at the same time. That's
Yeah.
what makes it so interesting and so fun to watch.
Yeah. I understand exactly the point you're making, Trey, about, the dog days of summer and, game 72 doesn't feel like it matters. But the interesting, fascinating thing for me about baseball is ultimately when you get down to the last 2 weeks of the season and you look at how close these races really are, game 35 turns out to matter just as much as game 161.
I mean, they all matter the same amount, but game
Right.
35 means exactly the same amount as 36 and 37. So if you lost
Exactly.
this one and won this one, each individual game doesn't. One of the cool things about baseball is that it's enough of a sample size that it generates meaningful statistics, which
Exactly
I think
right.
is very cool.
Yes.
But in doing so, you totally minimize what one chunk of one discrete piece of a sample is by doing it that way.
Possibly.
Because could be a win and a loss, and that one could be a win or a loss, and of those combinations, it doesn't.
Yeah.
The one that I'm at, I don't get to go to 81 games a season. I might
It was
go to
crazy and fun as hell.
Yeah, I would love to have season tickets someday here in Houston to do it, like just to say I had. I don't know that it was something I could do every year, but I would love to do it once.
They offer them for sale. You could just totally go do that.
Have you seen what they cost though? God.
No, I haven't.
I paid $8 a ticket, guys.
I say you got okay. What year was that, Ian?
1924.
So it was the year I started dating Carolyn, so that would have been about 15 years ago.
So okay,
11.
Let's just call it 2010, 2011, somewhere in there.
2010,
See,
2011, yeah, that sounds
I
right.
could have had Astros tickets for that in 2011 because the team won 50 games and lost 130, right, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So, but these days, the crappy season tickets are $45, $50 a game, and it's like, oh, you 80 games, all right, well here's $5,000 for nosebleed seats. Basically, it's crazy.
When you get season tickets, they do cut you a good deal on this.
They cut you some of the deal. You're right.
So it's only $3,500.
Exactly right.
Well, like, I'll just use I only know it from
30%
my
off.
one experience buying the Padres tickets, but basically I got 40 games for free. I bought 40, I got 40.
That's because the team was terrible.
$4.
They only won 23 of the 81.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but it was what you're not understanding is when I say $8 a ticket, what I really mean is $4 tickets because I had 2 seats.
Oh, okay.
So I was paying $8 to go to a baseball game and bring somebody with me every
That's-
time, and it was pretty awesome. I had the best of the worst seats.
Okay.
If I lived
All
in
right.
downtown Houston, I would do that. I would, and I thought like, one day when I retire, just get a condo down there and just retire into the city for a year or two, and then literally like, just what do you do what do you do as a retiree? I go to every baseball game. I go to every home game.
Nice.
That'd be
That
fun.
sounds like it.
That'd
Yeah,
be
if
fun.
that's your
But
thing, then. But I have too many other things.
baseball's my sport, right? So that's the only one
Yeah.
I really follow or care about. I gave up on the NFL years ago. I do keep up with college football. And I have no interest in basically any other organized professional sport that's played. I just don't. They don't interest me.
You don't follow the NCAA tournament at all.
I do not. Basketball as a sport doesn't interest me. I understand why it's entertaining and why it's not athletically simple. Like it is a challenging sport, but it doesn't interest me. It's just not my thing.
All right. I don't usually. I feel very similarly about basketball, so I only really care if the Aggies are good. I used to like it like a bit back in the '90s, but so the Aggies won tonight. They won big, which is really exciting. So that we have a new coach.
Did they make the tournament? They're in the tournament this year.
They made so they have a brand new coach who was like one of the last guys hired, and so he had like one player come back from the old team. So after all the other players got slurped up by other teams, he had to come in and build the roster from nothing, and nobody's left who's not on any of the roster. And he builds this roster in his first year, and he takes us like we were picked like 14th or 15th in the SEC, and we ended up 6th. And we made it to the tournament. We're a 10 seed. We played the 7 seed tonight, so we got a big. It was a pretty big upset, and like we were winning by 21. We ended up winning by 13, but we won by 21 at various points in the game. So, and it's a super exciting brand of basketball to watch. So I do care about the Aggies. Now we're going to run into Houston, who is like one of the dominant teams in all of basketball next time. So, it was fun while it lasted. And we made the tournament this first year. Woo!
I will say this. I will say one of the things that I always appreciate about the NCAA tournament, and I don't watch it, but I hear you hear about it. Like you can't live in America and not stumble across it on your Twitter feed or your news feed somewhere. Is anytime there's one of these big upsets, like that's a big deal. Like that's a big deal. And
bracket busters.
Exactly. Not just the bracket busters, just like for the, usually it's one of these David and Goliath stories. It's George Mason beating Duke or something, right? And it's
that almost happened today.
Exactly my point, right? So
Duke is the number 1 overall seed in the whole tournament, and they almost got upset by the bottom seed in the whole tournament today.
So
like it was Duke had to score a bucket like right at the end to win the game.
So like stuff like that does make basketball really interesting, but in general, I don't keep up with it. I don't follow it religiously or anything like that. Well, gentlemen, we were talking about this earlier. Pre-releases have come and gone. We had Trey, I think, just drowned himself in pre-release weekend. Just played
amazing.
Nothing but pre-releases. So we'll get to you last because you're going to be the longest one.
I just bathed in them.
You just
splashed
kind
around in the pre-release pool.
Yeah, you just like
I poured the bucket over my head.
Poured the bucket of cards over your. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But so Ian, tell to me about your pre-release experiences. What did you get to? What did you? How many did you do? 1 or 2? How many did you do? What did you play?
I did both of the Dragon Layers one.
Okay, so Saturday, the Friday, and the Tuesday.
First one, I don't even remember what I played, to be honest. The same thing happened to me every freaking time. Is I didn't put enough 2-drops in because I didn't pull enough, and if I had no turn 1 play, I got smoked. I can't remember who I played.
Didn't you play Hera that night?
No, I didn't play Hera.
Okay, I thought you did. Okay,
you and I played each other that first night, didn't we? On Friday?
Oh, Ian,
I played the whole. We all played each other.
You played like Aura Singh that first night.
That's what I did. I played Aura Singh the first night.
Yes, you did.
Because I pulled her rifle.
Yes.
I literally built the deck around the rifle.
Yeah.
One thing I learned is that it takes me a lot longer to build a deck than I thought.
Yes.
Even though I had practiced a bunch on Force Stable, it still took me way longer in person.
Mm-hmm.
And figuring out what to splash is hard.
Yes.
And I didn't realize there isn't enough 2-drops in this set, I don't think. Like, period. Like, at least I didn't pull them. Like, it was really hard for me. Like, I don't know. I just didn't pull enough 2-drops to really help me. Like, I lost 4 games, and all 4 games that I lost were no 2-drop, no 2-drop, no 2-drop. So, meh.
I personally,
I love the cards.
Yeah, I do too. I personally felt that struggle myself in all the pre-releases I went to, was finding enough game-starting plays. And I found myself routinely having to use my epic action, my splash base, just to get a turn 1 play on the board. Like, that was not uncommon for me. So I don't know if anybody else had that experience at their pre-releases, but I certainly did. So you played Aura on your first one. What did you play on Tuesday night, the second one?
some sort of hero. Again,
Some sort of
remember.
hero.
I'm sorry. It's
okay.
just, it's been
That's okay.
pre-release
He has
was
had a-
2
he has
weeks
had a
ago,
night
man.
of-
Like that's.
Yeah. Okay.
I woke up at 4 a.m. today, so I've been up since 4
Okay.
a.m.
All right.
So
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's been a
So
long
you're
day.
kind of
Cognitive
dead.
memory is
So
not there.
he's already half dead for this
Um,
episode.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't remember what I played, but I will say I had a great time in pre-release. The deck building is awesome. Reminding people that they can't splash villainy and hero is very important.
That is true. A lot of folks think that
I mean, they
splash base
can.
lets
They
them.
just can't
I mean,
use
they
it.
can. They gotta
You
pay
can't-
for it though.
you can't use
and
the splash
watching them
base on
try to
villain.
not play for it, and I'm like, no, that costs
That's-
6.
you need to read that card
splashing
again.
It. I'm like, where is heroism on there?
Yeah,
Please show me.
You need to read that card again. There's no hero or villain symbol on that card. That's important.
But all the games were really close.
Mm-hmm.
Even the ones where I didn't have a turn 1 play, like I lost by an action or 2.
Okay.
So I think as a pre-release set, I would say that it plays one of the stronger ones. I would say I enjoyed it as much as Jump, and I think Jump to Lightspeed was the last one that I loved pre-release on.
Okay. All right.
It very much has vibes of Jump to Lightspeed. The whole set does.
Yeah.
In what way?
Just it feels like
Good
somebody
cards.
who the cards are fun to play and they go together in interesting ways. And
Yes.
it feels like the deck building is wide open, and they've given us all these tools that intermingle with each other in various different and interesting ways. Whereas so in the two worst sets, Twilight and Secret, well, not Secrets, the 2/3 sets of the Twilight and Secrets, I feel like they were duds. But part of the reason I feel like they were duds is because they very much funneled you through very similar games. They both really wanted you to do one thing. Twilight wanted you to build a bunch of guys out to take advantage of all the mechanics of it, whether it's coordinate or eat them to play bigger stuff. And then Secrets of Power was all about the flip turn with the plot stuff. So I feel like it funneled you all through one, and I just find that boring. And I like it much better when I get this very diverse toolbox of stuff. And I feel like Jump to Lightspeed did that, and I feel like Twilight does that too. And it's just interesting and fresh.
Okay. All right. So I ended up going to 3. I did both, like Ian, I did both the ones at Dragon's Lair, and then I went down to the Forge on Wednesday night
how
after
was
DL.
that?
It was a lot of fun. I wanted to check out their new location. Their new location is amazing. I really hope they start applying for PQs down there. Now, they'd have to cap them probably 60, 65 people, but it's a great venue. It's really nice on the inside. They've got a great interior build out with some really gorgeous RPG rooms. And I briefly talked to them. They were like, "Oh yeah, we could have you in here to stream it." And I was like, "Oh yes, let's go." You know, so like I was all over that. But then we had a good group of people. I think we had 16 or 20 or whatever it was. They capped it at. In the end, I played Hera that first night at DL. I played Jabba at the second Dragon's Lair one. And then I finally got to try Velsartha when we went down to the Forge. For me, Jabba was by far the most interesting. The mechanics of the way he works, bouncing things back to your hand, making the credit token, and then you want to have some of those in the bank for his flip turn so that you can start ambushing things in. It was a really interesting mechanic, and I was really glad I got to try it in sealed. I'm kind of bummed that it won't be available in any other sealed, right, going forward, but unless you pull the showcase, fingers crossed, I suppose. But that was really interesting, and it made me want to start, like, I could see this deck being fun to play just in Premiere, right? Like, it was interesting. There's, he triggers off of Underworld, and there's the list of things that Underworld is on is just as long as your arm. There's just like CAD, there's so many Underworld cards, so many good Underworld cards, so many different ways you could take that deck. It would be a lot of fun, and I'm betting somebody out there is working on it and it'll crack it eventually. And again, every single set, he's a leader that, like, every single set that they print Underworld cards in, someone's going to pick him up again and look at him. So I feel like he's got some interesting legs.
One, the set is called Lawless Time. Like,
yes.
That's Underworld. But also, that is exactly what I'm talking about there, where they gave a tool that is open and expandable and moves forward and, like, works with things outside of itself.
Right.
So that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Right. Probably the best deck that I had was the Velsartha one that I played at Forge. I ended up playing Vel Red, and I had 2 Arvels in that deck. I had a Hyperspace and a regular Arvel. When you can use Vel and then immediately, like, destroy the credit you gave, and so it amounts to just giving out an XP token for free, that's really rude. That's really rude. So yeah, but yeah, I enjoyed this. Now, like Ian, I struggled a bit on some of the deck building. It took me longer to build things. It took me longer to sort not longer to sort things. It took me longer to find the right color pool, or what I felt was the right color pool for the cards that I had opened. And I found that in every single one of these matches, every single deck that I wanted to play blue, right? The blue cards in this set to me feel really strong at the common level, right? Lost and Forgotten, the Turret Sentry Droid, that's the 2/1 Shielded Sentinel. I'd have to look at the list again, but felt like every time I opened a blue card, it's like, man, this is a good card. There's some simple restore. There's 2 or 3 Sentinels in the blue neutral stuff. There's so many good blue cards, you guys. So I feel like going forward, the blue leaders have a little bit of a leg up, but even if you can't play a blue leader, you probably want to be trying to lean in and find, provided you pull the right cards in your pool, that blue is going to be the color to be in limited play in Lawless Time. Now, Trey, you drowned yourself in pre-releases, so give us the recap. What did you play? What did you try? What did you like? What did you dislike?
All right, so I played in 5.
Mm-hmm.
I played that first night in Dragon's Lair, and then on Saturday I went all the way down into Houston, played for a while, and then jumped up and ran out of that door, and then drove basically an hour north to play in the one of the ones in the Woodland or Conroe,
Mm-hmm.
which I can't remember the name of the store. Adventure Begins. There it is.
Adventure Begins.
And then I went back to Conroe on Sunday to play at Cards and Comics, and then on Tuesday I played again at Dragon's Lair. So
okay.
That means a lot if you're in Houston. If you're not in Houston, that was totally boring. But I played in all those. I opened some of the cool things that happened to me. I think I played a different deck every time.
Okay.
Or almost every time. That was pretty good. I did open a showcase for the first time ever.
Nice.
So I've opened showcases in the past, but I've never opened one when I'm just cracking packs. Like in an event like this, it's always when I'm busting cases and cases of stuff for singles.
Right.
So it was pretty cool to open a pack. Boom, there's Leia Showcase. And I ended up playing her for the first couple of rounds. So,
nice.
I played in one of them. The first one I played a control. I don't remember what I played the first Friday night.
You played Boba Blue. You played Boba Blue.
Oh, you're right. I played Boba Blue. So that was the one I did. I got with Boba, and I think Boba was really interesting. Thank you. And then the one the next morning I played. So I had played Boba Blue. It was a little control-y. It was a little smash into your guys, and so I wanted to. I had 2 decks that was sitting in front of me the next morning, and I decided I could have gone with Boba Blue again, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to make myself do something more interesting. So I went with an Infus aggro deck,
okay,
which was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it was Vel. Maybe that was no. I did have Infus at one point. Anyway, I made myself play aggro, and that was the only one that I lost more than one game in. It wasn't the stronger deck. I just forced myself to play it.
Okay.
If I was playing the strongest deck, I probably would have only lost one, but who knows? Maybe. Let's see. At the Adventure Begins, I played Leia.
That was
I
the
played
Leia
Leia for 2 rounds. I always, when I build these, every one I built over the weekend, I had 2 very distinct decks that I could have been. I'm going to go this or I'm going to go this, and they all fit together like it's this or this. And so in that one, it was Leia or Aura Singh, and I started with Leia because Showcase, and I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I won one, I lost one, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try Aura, and I freaking smashed people with Aura. Aura Singh crushed people.
She's rude. Way better than I gave her credit for.
Yeah, she's very good.
Yeah.
And then I don't. Do you remember what I played on Tuesday? I don't remember that one at all.
I don't remember that one because I didn't see what you played, and then we didn't play each other.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what I played. So I struggled a little bit. So when you're talking about deck building, I assume it's standard now. I kind of came up with it on my own, but that doesn't mean other people didn't also come up with it on their own. With the way that you lay cards out in the grid of I'm cracking packs, and this row is colorless, this row is rows and columns and whatnot.
Yep.
So I did struggle a little bit at the beginning of what to do with the multicolor cards, and so that slowed my deck building down quite a bit in the very beginning. But by the time I got to the 5th one, which you guys never played the 3rd one, or you played the 3rd one, so you never played the 4th and the 5th one. Like you, in that mode, I was kind of still. I wasn't struggling to pick the cards. I was struggling to finalize which of these 2 decks. But by the time I got to the 5th one, I had the layout pretty well done. And so I was able to, like I said, it always came down to 2 decks. And then I was able to look at the splash of, I found the splash to be pretty pretty straightforward actually for me. I would just pick out. It's always going to be a multicolor card, almost always going to be a multicolor card. So I would have all those sitting out there, and I would kind of look at this. I've got my regular green and my hero red go together, or whatever it is. And like I'm looking at those. All right, that goes together. Or I could play, villain blue and whatever yellow go together really well, whatever it was. And so I was like, I would look at those, and then I would look at the multicolor cards and figure out which deck I thought was stronger based on how they started, and then how the multicolor cards would push them together. And then I would just kind of like look through my pile of multicolor cards and pick out what the biggest bombs were that matched one of the colors, and I would play three or four of those. And then
Reasonable.
so that's how I picked the splash cards. It didn't really bother me. Now I will say it did catch me out playing things off aspect and only being able to do one, because one of the games that I lost, so when I played at Asgard down in town, I lost 2 games there. One of the games I lost because I would make a plan for the whole turn, and then I would go to tap my resources and throw a card out, and then realize I couldn't do it because I couldn't pay the extra thing. And I was like, because they have a weird layout, and so I was standing up playing at one of those wargaming tables.
Okay.
So I was like, I would like tap it, and then I would like, and I'd throw it on the table, and I'd hop up and down and be like, no, you idiot, Trey, get it right. I'm sure I was entertaining, but so
I had this mental image of you as Yosemite Sam hopping up and down, screaming about varmints.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of exactly what it was. I mean, I'm a little bigger than Yosemite Sam, but otherwise, I have the mustache. It's not as flowy, but so I thoroughly enjoyed every aspect of it. My family was out of town. I don't normally get to play in this many, but my family was out of town. One daughter was in Florida for spring break, and my wife and my other daughter had hit a road trip to New Orleans. They left me alone. They left me alone with a little bit of money and a card games that need playing. So I'm out driving around, and I got to do it all because my truck is messed up. My daughter who went to Florida left her car, so I got to drive around in a 20-year-old girl's Nissan Juke. And so I'm like, instead of my giant clunky drive, barely goes 65 miles an hour.
Do you even fit in a Juke? How do you fit into that thing? You're 6'8", Trey. Do you like bend in half? How does that work? Okay, whatever.
I'm 6'10".
Oh, excuse me.
But I will tell you this. I had this conversation at Asgard about this car because I don't remember who it was.
Shift when you got out, like,
yeah, like you climb into it, like leans over on one side.
But I'll tell you what I told him and what I always tell people when I have this conversation. I have spent my entire life fitting into your damn world.
That's true.
I know how to squeeze into it anything because all the world is built for you people, not me. And so it's from the time I was like 9, I've been squeezing into things. My first car was a Firebird, and people were like, "How did you fit in the Firebird? You lean the seat back and have T-tops, and your head fits."
That's true.
And I drive. My truck is still busted, and I'm driving my father-in-law's car. It's a little 2001 Toyota Corolla or something like that, 2005, but it's Toyota Corolla. So it is a tiny car. You just lean the seat back, and you have plenty of room. So. I just drive my whole life fitting into your stupid world.
Like everybody does. It's no big deal. You just lean
Police
back.
Academy, we'll rip out the front seat, sit in the back.
There you go. I love it. I love it. Did you have any particular moments in your various your pre-releases that were like, this was a really cool interaction that I hadn't seen or considered? Or that's always a fun question to ask. I always
did, and if we'd have done this podcast a week ago, I'm sure I would have had 3 or 4. But I've played since then, I've slept since then, and it's all melded together into just a general hop up and down excitement about these cards.
Fair enough. I'll say this. I think one of the big takeaways that I had just from the pre-releases that I played in general, I was blown away how good Aura Singh really is.
She's very good.
It shocked me to sit down across from Ian game one, first pre-release. I sit down across from Ian, and he puts Aura Singh on the table. And immediately, 3 of the 8 turn 1 plays in my deck are dead cards.
Yep.
Immediately. Because they're Leppy Lookouts, which is a 3/1 shielded overwhelm. And Aura's just going to be like, oh, I just murdered you. I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care. And I was like, this is insane. And it happened to me again at the Forge. I sat down across from somebody playing Aura early, and it was like, well, crap. Certain cards in my deck are not good anymore. So, yeah. I have not looked at building Constructed with her, but I think it would be fascinating to try. Moving on from pre-releases, then. We actually have cards. They're legal. Premiere. What have you been cooking in the Premiere department, boys? What have you been building? What have you been? You guys played a lot of Twin Suns on Tuesday, and we'll get to that in a minute. But you did play some. Each of you did play some Premiere before you sat down and played Twin Suns. So what did you cook up and what did you try?
I played after too.
Okay,
but I just spoke for like an hour on my deck building.
I was talking
to
mostly for Ian. Yeah, and I'll talk about.
Nobody. I mean, I'm not going to be very long. I built a really crappy Padme deck, like really crappy.
Okay.
I mean, I guess my idea behind it was because I know aggressive negotiations is going to be played pretty heavily.
Oh yeah.
So my idea was to try to get it out of their hands. But I think between the discard and the ping, I've got to focus on one. Either I want to ping or I want to discard. The combo really didn't work. It was too heavy. So I heard you played Cody, who had a nice Padme deck, so I'll probably just take a look at what he's got.
I would strongly encourage you to take a look at what Cody built, because he ruined me in our second and third. I beat him with Saw in the first game, but in the second and third games, he absolutely ran over me between the pinging, the ambushing K2, and using his game text. He'd ping a damage onto something. He's playing units that allow him to do the disclose thing with Padme, like Warrior of Clan Ordo, Karis Nemik, Ebon Hawk. He crushed me with Ebon Hawk in 2 games. So that's
such a great card.
It's such a great card. And so I was watching him play this deck, and I was like, this is really skanky. I love this. Like, I might have to try to build this myself. This is fun. So definitely have a look at that. If you want to, I'll say this, in my opinion, if you want to look more into the discard side of things, I think Sabe is going to be better than Padme, personal opinion.
Probably. I mean, I have the Padme showcase, so I'm going to keep playing her.
Fair enough.
And then the other deck I've been playing on Carabas, and I put together today. As you can see, the giant mess behind me.
Yeah, look at that.
I built Tals in yellow because that's just super fun.
Yeah, I built one of those.
I love playing Shen Flurry Vader. The Stranger, I pulled 3 Strangers, so I feel like
what? You won the lottery, my dude.
No kidding. And I also have 3 of the super. What are they? The new Super Laser Blast.
The single reactor ignition.
I pulled 3 of those also.
Wow.
So I'm in pretty good shape on the rares. Yeah.
Wow.
Got really lucky. I'm missing a whole bunch of regular rare cards.
I
pulled a boatload of legendaries, so I am not complaining there.
Nice.
So I figure I got them. I should use them, and that deck is super fun. It can actually hold its own against space decks with all the minuses you can throw out.
You can slow them down a lot.
A lot, yeah. So I like it. It's a good deck that I think is going to be good against both ground and space.
Okay.
So I'm going to put my time into playing that. And it's super fun. It's just a fun deck. Like, to play Vader, to play the Stranger, Darth Treya. Like, there's some really fun cards to play in there, and there's some great interactions.
Talzin is highly interactive. You're constantly interacting with your opponent in some fashion. It's not just, I played a card and murdered your guy. It's, I played a card and shrunk your guy, then I attacked into him to deal damage to him and shrink him again, or I played this card and shrunk him some more and then attacked it. Like, there's a lot. You have to combine different effects to engineer the board control you're looking for. It's not just as simple as, you played a unit, I murdered it with a card. You played a unit, I murdered it with a card. Like, it's a different form of things. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So I'm probably going to lean on that a lot going forward.
Cool. I built one of those myself. I have a different variant than you do. I don't have the Shen Vaders in mine, but I'm kind of thinking maybe I should. I don't know. I just messed around. I kind of.
What else do you want to do on turn 7?
Look, I get that it's good. Don't get me wrong. I get it.
There isn't those high end I want to get to Avenger. I want to get to Devastator. Like those. Cards.
In that deck, the sun is really good. That's a really strong card.
Yeah, he's pretty good. But
for a 7-drop.
Shen Flurry Invader cleans up 2. Can really just.
Trust me, I get it. I get it.
Giant unit. I used it the other day where I gave something a shield, ambushed into something, killed something, literally cleared the board and had my leader, Vader, and the Stranger all on the board. And I'm just like, ha ha. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend having that in there. I don't see why you wouldn't.
I'm just saying I was trying it a different way, and I only put a couple of games into that, and it was okay. It wasn't bad, but I need to either play more of that or try a different variant. I think that one was probably not going to work for me. I built Darth Maul Blue again, which is a deck that I kind of built pre-rotation, but then I sat down and stripped all of the rotation cards out of it, and then kind of had to bring it back up to where It's now rotation legal. I didn't get that one to the table, but I really want to try that one out because I think red blue is the new kind of soft control like way to do things. No, it's red blue in general. Red blue hero or red blue black, I guess.
The expression is something is the new black.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see.
Red blue is the new black.
I got it. But anyway, I haven't put any games to that one, and plus it's Maul. I want to try it. Right? It's since I haven't made the time for Vader yet. I figure I'll try Maul. But the deck that shocked me the most, that I had probably the most fun kind of wrapping my brain around and then putting on the table, was I built Saw Gerrera Lake Country, and that was really interesting. I need to put some more games into it. I had some fun games against Cody, and I played Luna a few games, and it's not flawless, but it's really interesting, and it puts so much early pressure on your opponent and forces them to find answers or to make suboptimal plays to try and not get run off the board, run out of the game before they can accomplish much. It's really interesting. I think for me, one of the key cards that I didn't have in there that I realized having played through it was Salvage, which sounds silly, but the two most impactful cards that I was playing in the early games of those early games with that deck was the 2/1 X-Wing that deals 2 damage to a base when it dies.
Yeah.
The red card. Because basically
Tavern Angels.
Yeah, because you can start that and then immediately first action turn 2, 6 to base. 6 to base, 6 to the face, enjoy. And if you're playing one of those 27 health bases, that feels awful. That hurts, right? But then
you can't salvage that, can you? Because it would just kill it immediately.
It would kill it immediately, but it would come to the board, you would deal the damage, and it would deal the it would still deal 2 to base. That's all you would get out of it. So but the one that I really want to be salvaging, the card that was doing absolute money for me, was the droid missile platform out of JTL. Because it's a 4/2, 4/2 that when it dies deals 3 indirect. And generally in the early game, they don't have any places to put indirect damage. And so you go 6 to base and 3 indirect on turn 4 on the third round of the game. And they're like, where am I putting this? And that was, I was beginning to realize playing the reps that, like, okay, the vehicles are a big deal in this deck. So Salvage suddenly was really appealing to me. Between that and I'm running the 4/4 Sab in space, whatever the JTL 4/4 Saboteur is. Orbiting K-Wing or something like that.
Orbiting K-Wing, yeah.
Yeah. And then the Defiant Hammerhead at 6/6 that can attack up to 10, and like that's a great card. So I thought, I was like, okay, Salvage. I had like Haymakers in there, and I was like, nah, this is probably not a good card for this deck. And so anyways, I really enjoyed Saw Lake Country, and I've had some conversations. I know I was talking to you guys about it. I was talking to other people. They're like, why haven't you looked at yellow or blue? I said, I did look at it. I spent tons. In fact, even on SWODB right now, I have all 3 decks built in yellow, in blue, and in Lake Country. But I kept looking at it, and I couldn't find anything in yellow and blue that was really compelling enough that said, no, I want to play this. Now, it might be there and I ain't found it yet, so I probably should spend some time messing around with those. But for now, the Lake Country one is what I'm actually building on the table, and man, that was fun. I'm going to do more of that because that was really interesting. I feel like Saw is kind of slept on right now. Everybody's looking at Tobias. Nobody's looking at Saw. I feel like maybe that's a bit of a miss. He feels like Anakin. Anakin Skywalker was super popular. What did he do? You tapped him, he got +2 into attacking into a unit, right? Saw is similar. He just gets +2 and overwhelm, and you lose the unit, whatever it is. If you're willing to do that, that can be really, really aggro and really, really nasty. What about you, Shrey? What have you been cooking?
So first of all, I've been sitting here making notes because you have been just jumping,
Yep.
and that's a good thing. I'm not criticizing you for it. So I got to address my notes first.
Yeah.
One, you were questioning me why this felt like Jump to Lightspeed.
Yeah.
You listening to you talk right now, the excitement, the bubbliness, the way that you just that is exactly what this set is.
Okay.
You are the perfect microcosm, the perfect representation of what average people that play this game, that's how they feel about this set. And nobody felt that way about Secrets of Power or Twilight. Nobody really felt that way about Legends of the Force. But people did feel that way about Jump to Lightspeed. Mm-hmm. So that is a perfect not anecdote. The metaphor for your excitement is a perfect metaphor for how people feel about this set and how I feel about this set. I'm pointing at the screen like you can see me. Yeah, but I'm not on camera. You can't see my hand.
No, I can't see your hand. Even on camera, I can't see your hand. So no.
Right. Okay. So that's note 1. Note 2, we really need to figure out how to standardize nomenclature for this game, like in terms of turns. Because some people say the first turn, but that means 2 resources. Having the 2 resources on the first turn is screwing up. I think the proper way to do it is to say the number first. So the 2 turn, the 3 turn, on 2 turn, the 2 turn or 2 turn. Because if you say the 2 resource turn, that's way too many words. But instead of trying to just say the 2 turn, the 3 turn, and then, I think we should focus on spreading that out. The 2 turn, the 3 turn, the 4 turn. I think that's what we should adopt, and that should be in our style guide and how we speak.
We'll argue about that later. Do continue.
Okay. The next thing is more about my deck building. So
Okay.
I had a rant a while back, not super while ago, a couple months ago, where I talked about how there's too much content and there's too many people out there making decks, and I feel like all of the decks have been made and there's nothing left for me to discover. That's what I said at the time.
Yes.
And I want to amend that now, is I think that is a reflection of the deck building complex depth of the pool of whatever set is out at the time.
I would agree.
Because we have the same thing going on right now, and all it's done is spur my creative juices. So I don't necessarily think there's too much content. I do think that there's a finite amount of depth involved in the creativity around deck building, and the number of creators that we have will soak all that up with a bad set. And so then that's when I don't feel the creative juices, because they've already built everything. But now I feel like, go ahead.
Go, finish your thought.
No, it was a lot more. Keep going.
I think that, first of all, I agree. I sort of understood your point at the time. I don't necessarily disagree with what you were saying when you said it. I think it's more of a result of the fact, and we talked about this at both times when these sets released, that Legends of the Force and Secrets of Power to a less, like Legends of the Force moved the needle on competitive a little bit. Like it moved around for a while, but then it kind of settled back into something very familiar. Secrets of Power, it didn't really move much at all. The things that were good before were pretty well good after, and the things that weren't good before were still pretty crap after, and the new leaders didn't really make a splash in Premiere. And we talked about that a couple or 3 episodes ago. So I think that is more of a microcosm of what you're talking about, right? Like, because the needle's not really flexible. The impact of the cards that are being released is not enough for the game to change meaningfully, for there to be this oomph of things that, the Wild West like we are right now, where we can build literally almost anything and it's viable. That it feels like all the good decks are already spoken for in the content creation space, and there's nothing to build because somebody's already found it.
Yes, and that sort of, it's kind of, I think it's touching the same thing that I'm talking about, but in a different way, because I'm not really talking about what the best deck competitively is.
Fair.
But if you have a very shallow pool of creativity to pull out of a deck, the needle's not going to bounce around for a while people figure it out. If the pool is very shallow, the people that are building, the spikes that are building to win tournaments, they're going to find it immediately. So it's not like decks didn't come out of Secrets of Power. It's just that they were found immediately, and then there was no room to be creative and build creatively exciting and fun decks that could have any chance of winning.
Or to just experiment with crazy, wacky stuff and see what happened.
Yeah. And then it just wasn't there. And so when all the creators built 100 decks and tried everything, there was nothing left to try.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Ian?
They built it all.
I was going to say, and the same thing will happen now. A couple of PQs will start, woo, and win like 3 PQs in a row with whatever deck he builds, and then that's all you'll see at the tournaments. Like,
I don't think it'll be as much. I think this time there's going to be
I think this time there's going to be a wider field, because it's a new, the rotation has happened. So it's going to depend on what they do with aggressive negotiations, how much that dominates tournaments.
It's going to dominate for a while for sure.
Yeah.
I think the needle's going to bounce around for a while, because there's a lot of depth in this set that allows the creative expression. So in that vein, it is much, and I know Ian does this, and I'm sure this is the case for most people. It is a lot easier. It's a lot more comfortable for me to take somebody else's idea that they put something together and then tweak it and run with it and be like, I like this part, and cast, to work off of a seed of an idea that somebody else has, than to just have a clean sheet of paper in front of me and come up with something brand new. That rarely happens. And so the deck that I am playing right now, that I have fallen, I mean, it took 3 games. It took 1 game for me to fall in love with it. So we talked a lot about building with Rio. I have no idea if this deck is going to be any good, but I don't need a deck to win a PQ for me to enjoy it and that be the deck that I keep built all the time. It has to be fun to play, and I have to have a pretty good chance of my skill level being able to help me take that deck to win games in small tournaments and casual play. That's all I need out of a deck. And so I'm playing I found this Rio deck online and Sweetie B, and I was just scrolling looking for ideas, and I found Rio Blue, and so I'm in love with it. It's so much fun. It plays a lot of the new blue yellow cards. So it's got the Toydarian Technician is a great 2-drop. It's got another superior. It's got the Stranger in it. It's got Finn in it. So all the high end is Ambush.
Okay.
It flips. It's got a bunch of transports. So I played with it the first night, and I've since made changes to it, and I played it a couple of times on Karabast since then, and I really like the changes that I made with it. So I'm in that spot where I found the root idea of a deck, and then I went and changed a third of the cards in it to make it play differently. So I now feel like I'm starting to make it my own. This is somebody's deck. A Thork maybe. It may not be Thork. It may be somebody else. I just know that name. But I'm building this deck, and I've started swapping things out, moving things around. I think this will be better enough that I feel like I'm starting to push this to where it's no longer their deck. It started as their deck, and now it's a trade deck. But it runs so many cool combinations. One, it's got the what do they call it? The pod racers. So it's got the pod racer in it. I love the pod racers.
Rio loves those cards.
As somebody that played Destiny back in the day, the pod racers there, they've had one set that was all pod racing, and the cards were garbage.
Yeah.
And nobody played them. They were terrible. And so it's fun to have this silly subset of the Star Wars universe actually be playable cards. So it's got what is the Canyon Frontrunner, the one that it's 3/2 for 2, and when you attack, if it's the first thing to attack, the thing shrinks, so you can use it to crash into people. It's got it makes ships, and it gives them shields a lot of the time. It makes transports a lot of the time, or that's what it's trying to do, is make transports so that when you flip what's his name, Rio, and put him on a ship, it gets bigger, and it has Saboteur, and it attacks, and you tart up some transport on the ground, because now we have transports on the ground. Tarts up some transport on the ground or in space, and now you have like this 7/15 thing, the Saboteur, that they can't freaking deal with. And it's got shields, because if it's the Scavenging Sandcrawler, the 4, that's like the 1/7, like if it's that, then that, or what is the other one, the Emissary Sheathipede, if you flip Rio on those, they're not unique units. So when I crashed Finn out on turn 6, so I flip on turn 5,
put a shield on it.
Attack.
Yep.
I smashed Finn into whatever you played. My guy gets a shield and just keeps on going. And so it's super fun to play. And it also gets to play one of my new favorite cards. I didn't find the combo, but I saw it. It looks really exciting. The Super Heavy Ion Cannon.
That card's amazing.
Super Heavy. It's so good, and nobody played it before because there weren't enough transports. But I put it in here, and
but there was so much
there
upgrade.
Weren't enough competitive. Yeah. Okay. So I've got a few upgrades. I've got some pilots. I've got Iden.
Iden is amazing as a pilot. Such a great card.
Yeah. I've got the Boba that gives things shields. It does have the Canto Bite. So I want to clog up the ground and keep them from hitting me while I beat you to death with this big Rio thing. So I've got the new Canto Bite security guy, the 3/5 that makes credit tokens.
Makes credit tokens.
I mean, he's in there for now. I'm not sure how much I got to pay attention to how much I use those credit tokens and see if maybe I should swap them out for something else if I don't ever need the credit tokens. But it's fun. I get to play emergency powers. So I make Rio big. Putting Rio on makes him big. And then I give him 6
You can't play emergency powers on Rio. Emergency powers says non-leader unit.
Oh, non-leader. Okay, so then I played on the guy next to him. You're
there
right.
You go.
I've already been through this.
Totally legal.
I played on the other one that I have with him. It plays the Shuttle ST-149 that steals tokens. We all know how much I like. Know how much I like stealing tokens, stealing anything. So I'm really enjoying this.
Okay.
You have an encyclopedic knowledge of a lot of these cards. That's impressive.
I've been burned by EP before, so I've made a point to read it very carefully now. Plus, doing what I do, calling games, the encyclopedic knowledge of the cards is important.
Yeah, I'm sure you get called out by people that do.
That's true.
You miss it.
That's true.
Okay, so all that being said, I played that for a while last night or Tuesday night, but then we got into the Twin Suns that we're going to get into in a minute, and then I stopped. I gave up my seat to let somebody else play Twin Suns. Came over and I grabbed Jason, and Jason had done similar to what I had done. He had taken I think he'd started with somebody else's list and tweeted.
Okay.
He had built Jabba, and I hadn't even
saw that Jabba deck.
Jabba. It was, and I beat him twice in a row, but it was super close, and I had so much fun watching his deck. I want to build that one too.
Jabba's interesting.
I hadn't actually seen Salacious Crumb work, but
that card's amazing.
Very exciting with
so
Jabba.
Good.
You just hit him for 4 before anything happens.
You can if you want.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then he did things like he on the 4 turn he put what's the 4/4 bounty hunter that smashes in and then dies on the end of the, at the end
Oh,
of the
the
turn?
contracted hunter.
The 3?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
contracted hunter. He played that and murdered my guy and then just bounced it right back to his hand.
Right back to his hand.
He could do that. Oh, it was so exciting to watch, to see him do all this stuff. So I want to go. I don't have the cards in my collection to build 2 villain yellow decks at the same time. So I'm going to build that one on Carabast and play around with it. But that was exciting. And I've got flipping through my binder where I keep my collection, my personal collection of this. I just keep, you run across a card, or like I'm playing in a limited and I see a card like the 5/3 Raid 2 Restore to You guy. Like that guy's super exciting to me. He looks so much fun. They're just all these cards. I look at it and I can visualize this line of play where I would use that card and that would go well with this, even though they don't have to play together. And like that's, I love it. I'm thoroughly enjoying the creativity that comes with this in this set.
Good timing.
The dual aspects cards are a lot of fun to build.
They really are.
Like a lot of fun.
They really are.
Even the commons are pretty powerful cards. So you're like, wow, how can I fit this in? They're pretty neat. It's a cool idea. I hope they make more of them.
They've done a really good job in this set with the common double aspect units taking 2 keywords that are familiar with, like I look at like the Leppy Lookout's an easy one. We took Overwhelm out of green and Shielded out of blue and smashed them together on the same card and made it a 3/1.
Yeah.
Right? We took the Toydarian guy. We took Raid and Restore and smashed them together onto the same card out of yellow and blue. Like it's just they've done some really cool things with the combo cards. I think I'm with you. I think it's really, really well done. It's going to be fun to see what folks cook up with the combo cards for a while. Now, you guys played a bunch of Twin Suns. What new stuff did you build for Twin Suns that you played or that you haven't gotten to the table yet, Ian? You've been working on that.
So I built a Saw Rebel deck.
Mm-hmm.
It was so much fun to watch work.
Heavy Rebel interaction. Saw might be the best Twin Suns leader by far. And I'll give you my example. He allows you to get 2 attacks in at once, which can close out anybody. We played a game where
when you flip him, he does, yes.
When you flip him, right?
Yeah.
So we played a game where Damien teed me up. But what
he didn't know you'd done it. He did not know that he teed you up.
What Damien didn't realize was I had everyone teed up. It didn't matter. I was killing anyone because I was holding
very good.
Well, I was holding a Rebel Assault in my hand, so I was
that's rude.
3
that's
attacks
rude.
in. Okay, now I only needed to do 2 to take Damien out because he put me in a position where I didn't have a choice. He should have waited to tee
the 28
me up.
health bases. He just keeps having.
Yeah, I mean, and his flip and we'll get to when we talk about building decks in a minute. We'll talk about Chancellor Palp, Flip Palp. But I dropped 16 damage on Damien in
just
one
out of
attack.
nowhere in one shot. It was
in one shot.
That's brutal.
And it could have been 22 was what I was going to do to anybody else if I had used Rebel Assault.
That's brutal.
The only problem with that is it only works once, and then you and I play together, and then I'm just like, guys, we have to kill him before he gets to 6 turns. Somebody has to die before he gets to 6, or he's winning.
I partnered him with Luke, and I didn't think at first that Luke was the right partner for him, but he's absolutely the right partner for him. He's a rebel.
Yeah.
When I attack with Saw, I can sacrifice Luke, and I can give Saw a shield token so that I can possibly do it on the 7th round as well.
Oh, I see.
On attack,
you blew old SOR Luke, original Luke, not pilot Luke.
Yeah, Blue Luke.
Okay, Blue Luke. Got it.
So I'm gonna leave that partnership together because it worked fantastic.
Okay.
All the little rebel interaction. At one point, what did I do? I timelied out. Is it Marva Andor? Is that her name?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I timelied out Marva Andor and took out a unit and handed out 4 experience tokens.
So because she's not played very much, Marva Andor, when she dies, she gives a token.
3/5. Yeah, she's
3/4.
a 3/5 heroism card.
3/4.
I think
3/4.
5 actually. 3/4.
No. 3/4.
3/4. Whatever it is. So, and when she
is
dies,
because you want her to die.
You want her to die.
Yeah, you want her to die. When she dies, she gives each
rebel,
friendly rebel an experience token. So I had 4 on the board. I put.
It was like watching a casino where he just kind of splashed the tokens across.
So great.
Dribbled them. He made it rain.
So great. I won a game again with In the Heat of Battle.
You
Again,
love that card. You love that card in Twin
It's
Suns.
a game winner. In Twin Suns, it wins you the game.
It just ruins everybody's Sentinel plays. Like nobody's. If everyone's a Sentinel, no one is.
When I played at that time, I had both my leaders on the field, and I was the only one with space units. So as soon as I played it, that's it. I controlled everything from that point on because nobody's getting any ground damage in. Everybody was right around the point to die. So I was like, I control this now. So
if you're listening, Hola, if you're listening, this is the card that gives everybody Sentinel and everybody loses Saboteur.
Saboteur. So if you play it at the right time, and it's cheap, I think it costs 1.
It's like 2, one or 2.
Yeah, I think it's
cheap.
It's 1 or 2.
Yeah. Whatever.
It's cheap.
It's a Twilight common, I think. Like that just never really got played.
It never got. No, it's an uncommon card. I think.
Is it uncommon? Whatever. But it's out of Twilight.
It might even be rare. I don't know. It's out of Twilight. It's a junk card that this is the only place it plays well. I was watching. Jason loaned his Twin Suns deck where he was playing Saw to Mike. Yeah, Saw Flip Palp, and he was using only when defeated units. And I instantly was like, oh, I'm building Saw Thrawn. And my Saw Thrawn deck that I put together, that's going to smash. I mean, smash.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. That one's going to be really fun to play. So I'm looking forward to playing that. So those are the 2 I built.
The Twin Suns deck that I have in my head that I obviously haven't built, but I want to pair Saw with Luthen Rail, right? Because you're talking about Rebel synergy and sacrificing things. I think that would just be really, really fun. I just checked. Heat the Battle is actually a JTL rare, so I was even wrong. But yeah,
rare.
There you go.
I mean, it's priced like a common, so I mean, it's
like so many rares are in this game.
I bought a hyper foil version of it for 37 cents yesterday.
Ooh,
so
big spender.
It's totally an expensive card.
So I keep 4 decks built at all times so that there's never an excuse that somebody doesn't have a deck. I can farm the whole game if I need to, and I've been redoing a lot of the way that I store my cards because I have the kiss of autism, and I just like to put cards in sleeves, and it's very zen-like to me. So I ripped everything apart. I ripped all of those decks apart, and everything went back into the binders. So I only had the one deck, the new deck. I had to build one kind of the last minute on Tuesday before I went out there, and rooting around, I didn't find anything that was like a tribal synergy like the Rebels, like Ian had. I ended up building, it was Data Vault as the base, and then it was Deidre Miro and Aura Singh. And so it was
you did what you always did. You built a Sentinel deck.
Well, I mean, I always build Sentinel decks because that's how you play the game. So I built these 3, I used those 2 heroes, and so it's blue, red, and green, and then when I build a deck, my first pass is to just go look at everything that has Sentinel and dump it into a pile and then filter out the few cards that I'm not going to keep. So that's how you stay alive in the game, is to run Sentinel. So it doesn't do like the cards themselves. It's kind of, it's 90 cards because of the Data Vault. It's a lot of cards that are kind of already staples. If there was ever a question, I went with the new card, the Lawless Time card, so that I could play and see how the new cards work. But the Aura Singh and Deidre are both incredibly powerful when they work together. And you don't even get usually you don't get the 2 damage off of Deidre, but Deidre comes out, she hits really hard. Aura Singh controls the board. It's a lot of fun. And Aura Singh is actually very political because you team up.
I could see that.
You end up teaming up with other players and you make trades and favors, and this guy's got to die or everybody's going to suffer from it. So if you'll crush your guy in, I'll finish him off with Aura Singh, and then it's really fun.
Does Aura work on leaders? Does her front side allow you to target leaders?
No, non-leader.
Non-leader.
Defeat a non-leader unit with 1 less. Okay, all right. So that's what I thought. Okay.
That did come up several times.
You know, it does kill a leader unit. His leader units, when he flipped Dedra, I played Zeb out. The new Zeb. Dropped 5
Oh, it just dealt 5 damage to her.
Dropped 5 on her immediately.
Yep, that'll do it. That'll do it. Yep. I've had my old Kylo, my old set 2 Kylo open fired before when I played him, so I've been there.
Zach was playing Sabine. I did the same thing to Sabine in a game.
Yep. I've force choked Sabine on flip before, that's the thing. Yeah.
But I usually like to address that. I usually have some Sentinel unit out. So even though I'm flipping what is a 2/4 raid 2 guy, because her raid ability is if you have more cards in hand than anyone, like one person. So as long as somebody has played, it's super easy to hit in this. So usually it severely limits what can kill her immediately because I have somebody with Sentinel sitting next to her so they can't attack her. So I at least usually get at least one hit in.
Yeah, Dedra's. She's 2/5 while you have more cards in hand than an opponent. So literally any opponent on the board, as long as you have more cards than one of them, she gets raid 2.
And you always will, as long as you use her ability once.
If you use her ability a couple of times, it should be no big deal for that to happen. Yeah, should be easy.
All right, so we had a situation.
Uh-oh. You guys, you guys told me about this, but I don't know anything, so you're going to have to fill me in on all of it.
So I've got it laid out. I'm going to try to stick to the facts as I recall them. I'm not going to politicize this or try to emotionalize it in any way.
We had an incident, ladies and gentlemen.
We had an incident. So we have an incident where Ian thinks that I stabbed him in the back over a political deal, and I don't feel like I did. And we need Wes to arbitrate and determine whether I was in the wrong or not.
Okay.
All right.
There's no arbitration needed, but that's okay. Go ahead. Go for it.
Yeah. Ian has just said it doesn't matter what Wes says. He's never making a deal with me again. Which if that's how it is, I understand.
100%.
That's fine.
You have been added to the no deals at Twin Suns list. You are on the same list as Fred and Balls. I won't make deals with you guys anymore because you go back on your deals.
But see, that's the whole point.
You tell your side of the story, and I'll tell my side.
That's the whole point of this arbitration is I don't feel like I went back on my deal.
All right.
So here's the scenario. All right, here's the scenario. I have Lobot, right? Lobot has not been touched. Lobot is a Sentinel. He's 2-drop 0/4 Sentinel with grit. He's sitting there. Unless somebody deals damage to him, he's kind of useless.
He's just a wall.
Just a wall. He prevents people from attacking into you for no reason. Yep. But until they attack into him, he's just a 0/4.
Yep, he doesn't do much.
So, one of the things that I put in this deck was the Adventurer Sniper Rifle, which is 0/0 attached to a non-vehicle unit, and you activate that unit, and it sets somebody's health or to printed health to 1.
Right.
So if they have 2 damage on them, you just kill people with it because then they're printed health with 1 with 2 damage on them. So, but it's made to pair with Aura, and I threw it in there at the last second because I thought I would much rather just attack with my units. It's rare that I don't think I'm ever going to hit it. So the very first time I draw this card, I'd sit it like the one guy in my deck who's most useful to have that card. It has it. All right. So I have this. Ian has it's the 3/5 Obi, right? From Legend of the Force.
Yep. That's the Sentinel.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one you had, right? Okay. So when I put this out there and I put it on Lobot, I've now got nobody else. Everybody was done. Like I'm the only one left playing. So I put this rifle on Lobot, and I am faced with: do I kill the Obi on Ian's side, or do I kill something? Zach is sitting to my right, and he's got a big space unit that I really want to. That's the one I want to kill. But I'm afraid that Lobot is going to represent such a threat that Ian is going to just throw his Obi into it and kill it immediately. Obi only does 3 and Lobot has 4, but I'm afraid that he's going to use Saw to just overrun him and kill him.
Okay.
Huh? Which for the record, I probably was, yes.
Yeah.
Now, I want to interrupt real quick. Now, the sniper rifle doesn't work on space units.
It doesn't?
No.
Well, then then we played it wrong.
Okay.
Let me say.
Undamaged, non-leader ground unit.
Oh, undamaged, so it doesn't work on that either. Wow.
Choose an undamaged, non-leader ground unit.
Wow, okay, so you need to read that card better.
Yeah, read your cards.
All right.
But continue.
Okay, so continue. All right, so yeah, RTFC, man. So in my head, obviously we're playing the cards wrong in this scenario. These are my choices. I want to kill the space unit. Okay. I don't want Lobot to die, so I feel like I'm going to be forced to kill Obi. So what I said was, I started with Ian, are we just going to smash into each other this game while the other people hit each other? Well, and then
I said yes, one of us, as always, yes.
As always, yes. So I said, look, here's what I'm asking. I said, I can kill Obi right now. I can and nobody's going to be able to kill Lobot, and I'm going to use him again. I didn't say that, but that's what I've got going on.
Yeah.
I said I can kill Obi right now. I don't want to. I want to kill that space unit, and I want to because that space unit is a big threat. It was the 3/3 that you flash a white card and it gets bigger when it attacks. The yellow one.
Okay. I don't remember this one, but okay.
It doesn't matter. Anyway.
Oh, Evan Hawk. It's
matter.
Evan Hawk. It's
Yeah,
Evan Hawk.
Evan Hawk. Yes.
He's got
doesn't
Evan.
matter.
Okay.
So I said is I can kill Obi right now. I don't want to. I want to kill the Evan Hawk. If I let Obi live, will you not attack him? Will you not kill my guy with your Obi next turn? That's what I asked. If I kill the Obi Hawk now. And what? And what?
I had to trade off my Sentinel unit.
What? I didn't say anything about.
You made me crash into his something.
No, I didn't.
I crashed a ship into somebody, but that's okay.
That had nothing to do with it. All I asked, this is my whole thing, is I said if that was the only stipulation that I remember saying is if I don't kill Obi this turn, will you not kill my guy in response? Like as soon as you untap and get him, will you not smash into my guy and kill him because I want to use him again? He said he agreed to me. He said sure. He said I will be neutral to you next turn, and we agreed. So
I will note that part. I will be neutral to you next turn. Thank you.
Okay.
That's what he said.
You both agree on that. Okay.
Not we. We both agree that he said I, referring to himself, will be neutral to you next turn. All right, so fast forward. I kill the space unit.
Sure.
Breaking the rules, I kill the space unit.
Sure.
So fast forward to the next turn.
And I'll take it from here. I'll take it from
here. No.
This is my part of the story.
I know.
This is my part of the story.
You're going to fill in your stuff. I'm just telling the facts.
This part is very simple. Trey and I had a deal where we were going to be Slytherin for this next phase.
And that is not what we said.
Okay?
I don't care if you believed it. That's not what I said.
At the end of the round, Trey is the only ones with actions left.
Sure.
He goes to target my Kenobi.
No, I didn't target your Kenobi. I did not target your Kenobi.
Whatever unit I had out. He goes to target my unit. And I say to him, I thought we were neutral this phase.
Which is not what we said.
Stumbles on a couple of words and does the attack anyways.
Nope, that's not exactly what happened. So recounting just the facts, Obi-Wan I don't think died that turn. I don't recall. But what he did, he played the fourth to the end
of the phase, because at the end of the phase I had no units left. Zero units.
He played the 4/3 Sentinel guy from the green-white Sentinel guy from the first set. That's 4/3.
Okay, the Echo-based defender.
Nope, that was a different game.
Nope, that's exactly what happened. I'm recalling because I committed this stuff to memory, dude. You played that guy right next to Obi-Wan, and then Damien hit somebody into him and put 2 damage on him because Damien needed to kill his guy so he could flip palp. So he just crashed his guy into that guy and lost his own guy. It was like a 2/2 or something that your guy would kill. Damien needed to kill his own guy. He flipped him. So his 4/3 has 2 damage on him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I at no point, I never said I will be neutral to you next turn. I said I will not kill him this turn, meaning the previous turn. I said I can kill Obi now. I will not kill Obi now.
Then here's my question.
So then
what was the deal we made? Because
the deal we made
just wouldn't kill Obi Kenobi, and that's it.
The deal was that
I thought the deal was that we were neutral for the phase, whole phase.
None of those words came out of my mouth, and none of those words came out of your mouth. You said you would be neutral. I said I will. So we're talking turns. We're going to call them turns 1 and turns 2. On turn 1, I said I will not kill Obi-Wan right now if you will not use your Obi-Wan to kill my guy on turn 2. That was my deal. I said I will not kill, because I could have killed Obi-Wan immediately.
Yeah.
And so I said I will not kill your Obi-Wan right now if you will not attack him back immediately. That was my part of the deal. And then Ian said I will be neutral to you next turn, meaning him. Not about me being neutral to him. All I was concerned about was his attack into my guy and my guy sniping him on turn 1. The only thing I cared about on turn 2 that I thought our deal pertained to in turn 2 was Obi-Wan not attacking back, as him fulfilling his part of the deal for me fulfilling my part of the deal in turn 1. My part of the deal in turn 1 was I'm not going to kill your guy in turn 1. His part of the deal was return for that, I'm not going to kill your guy on turn 2. That was what I said. That was what we agreed to. That was what I felt like we agreed to. He said he would be neutral to me on the whole turn, which I wasn't asking for, and I didn't expect him to actually follow through with all of that, but that's irrelevant. At no point did I agree to be neutral to him on turn 2. So this is where we need arbitration. So I'll let Ian fill in any color he needs to.
So
I feel like I feel like it was just a giant misunderstanding. And
that's what it sounds like from here, but do continue.
I
Go ahead.
did not attack Trey at all that turn. I attacked the other 2 opponents at the table and used my attacks there instead of at Trey's units. when Trey was the only ones with moves left at the end of the phase, he chose to clear my board.
Yeah.
Nope, I didn't clear your board. You still had
I
Obi.
had nothing left at the end of that. If you're talking about when I played Bith and Nemec on him, I had nothing left at the end of that.
You didn't play Bith, and that was not them. That was a different game.
Okay.
You played the Echo-based defender. Damien cracked you into him.
I was under the
Obi was still
impression
sitting
that
next
we
to him.
were Switzerland for this phase. We were not Switzerland. Everyone else at the table, for the record, was surprised that he attacked me also.
It wasn't an attack. I used Aura to kill this guy. I didn't actually attack.
Sounds like you used Aura's Sting to kill off the defender.
Yes, I used Aura's Sting to kill off his sentinel.
Everybody else was surprised, not just myself. When I said I thought we were neutral, Trey babbled a few times, which made me think he forgot, which is fine.
I didn't forget. I misunderstood what you were saying because you misunderstood what I was saying.
And I've said this a lot in Twin Suns game. If Trey wants you to do something, don't do it. So I will just continue to follow my own logic in Twin Suns. And if Trey asks me to do anything or make a deal, I will tell him to shove off, which is perfectly fine.
That's within your rights as the player. You can do these things.
You are perfectly right to do that. I feel like there was a misunderstanding because I asked for a very specific thing, and I fulfilled my end of the bargain on turn 1 by not killing your guy. And you fulfilled your end of the bargain on turn 2 by not killing my guy. And I felt like that was the end of our deal because that was all I asked for.
I didn't realize that I could use my other guys to kill your other guys.
You didn't have any other guys. You only had Obi. You had Obi, and you
played something.
All right.
You played the 4-3 that I killed.
All right. Enough. Our listeners are turning us off at this point. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a moot point.
Here's my thoughts. Okay. This is from the neutral observer position. What this is?
Don't make deals at Twin Suns stables.
Okay, that's a reasonable statement. What sounds like happened, okay, is something that is incredibly common in human communication. What you said, and I'm pointing to both of you, what you said versus what they heard is not the same thing. Okay, and
I'm 100% on board with that.
And clearly, in Trey's mind, he had something hyper specific that he wanted, and in Ian, in your brain, you were like, "Nah, it's cool. We're just gonna not screw with each other for the turn while we deal with these people, right?" And but what was said apparently does not match what either of you.
Everything Ian said still matches what I matched for, what I asked for. He said, "I will be neutral to you."
If you go back, one of the things that makes this is actually difficult for me is if I want to roll the podcast back because you said in the moment a minute ago when you started talking about that, you literally used the words neutral for the turn. And I'm like, and then Ian's like, yeah, that was what we said. And I'm kind of going, well, then you agree. And then Trey's like, no, that's not what I said. I was like, wait, 30 seconds ago you said that. So what did you actually say now?
You forgot. It's so obvious you forgot. You forgot. It's fine, dude. You totally forgot. And you're like, I could take out this and do this. And you were doing your actions and you forgot. And life goes on.
Here's the lesson, ladies and gentlemen. When you sit down to play Twin Suns, be prepared for some politics. It's going to be a thing.
Yeah,
it's going to be a thing.
At the table.
It's going to be a thing. And at the end of the day, definitely leave it at the table. You guys, I've been having this conversation with some folks on the KTOD Discord, and this kind of ties into something, Trey, that we might want to talk about in a future episode, because we were talking about Twin Suns, and we were talking about. I was telling some folks who had never played it before, never built decks. They were like, "Oh, it feels so daunting." I was like, "It's really easy. It's 80 singletons. Like, it's not that hard to build a deck." I said, "But here's the thing: don't put anything in the deck that costs more than 6 because you won't get to play it." What do you mean? I said, I said it's incredibly rare for a TS game to go past the 6 resource turn. I said, I've seen it. It happens. But generally, it doesn't last very long past the 6 resource round, and generally the cards you have in your hand are good enough.
Of the 7.
Generally, somebody dies by 7. I've had, granted, I don't have nearly as many TS games under my belt as you guys do, and I've only seen one game that we put down 8 resources, and we would have gone to 9 because that game was still going on. But the point is right. But the bottom line is that in TS, that's just common. The game goes very quickly, and that led to a separate conversation. A topic for a future time about homebrew rules. How do you make TS games last longer? Do you add health? Do you how are all kinds of different ways you can do that.
Came up with a cool little fancy idea that kind of goes to that.
Mhm.
A new rule I'm gonna play is that if I have a free hit where I can hit any of the 3 players and it's for 5 or more damage, I started rolling a dice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
That seemed to make it actually pretty fair. Because
Interesting.
there was a time where the Ebonhawk was on the battlefield and
Mhm.
nobody had space units. So he literally just he hit us each once 5
Okay.
for 5 damage,
Sure.
basically. So
Keeping
like
y'all
if you
even.
have yeah, like if you have an open attack where you're gonna do some good damage, like I feel like a random draw is sometimes
Could be.
was what made it a little more fun.
Could be.
And the games didn't go longer, but it made it a little more fun.
Now, keeping with the theme of Twin Suns, and let's getting away from this exact specific incident, I want to talk briefly. We've got about 15-ish minutes or so left before we probably have to call it here. I want to talk about when you guys sit down to build Twin Suns decks. I have built exactly one Twin Suns deck ever. It's just
Man.
I took all the Imperial cards that I had singletons of laying around the Ornament decks, and I built a deck. Like it's Tarkin and Iden and a bunch of single Imperials, and we're done. Like it's not very complicated. That was my theme, Imperials. That was the whole theme of the deck. When you guys sit down
That
to
can
build,
be a good deck.
it plays pretty well. I have no complaints with it, and it's not hard to build something like that. But what I'm getting at is when you guys sit down to play a deck, the first decision you have to make is what 2 leaders am I gonna put side by side on the board, right? That's the foundation of what you're doing. Do you consider theme more, or do you consider function more than anything? Trey's shaking his head already.
Personally, I don't care. I like looking at cards that are from characters from a property that I really enjoy, but I don't feel the need to match things on theme to match what's in the fiction that I read and watch.
Okay.
So I don't feel any need. I don't really derive any satisfaction from pairing up like Padme with Anakin or anything
So
like that.
function over everything for you.
It is just function.
Okay.
I'm all about theme for
Okay.
the most part. But theme within like the deck, like rebels, but like putting in all the rebel synergy you can.
Sure.
But like themes don't just have to be rebels or Imperials. Like to be honest, like in Twin Suns, Sentinel is a theme. Building a heavy Sentinel themed deck.
One of the
that
very first TS deck that Trey built with the Ray Chewy that was just I make everything a Sentinel, LOL, restore 1,000,000, have fun with that kind of thing.
People don't do this enough in Twin Suns, but going all out space is a theme.
Yes, I agree
Like,
with you there.
There are
Fred has
ways
that
like
deck.
Nice.
Yeah, like you can go some ground Sentinel, but like space is like a heavy thing. So like really just when you sit down to build these decks, like if you want to build it fun, like I started building that Saw Luke one because I just wanted to play. I'm all about heroes, right? Wes is all about villains.
Yeah.
He loves the villains. I love the heroes. And I just wanted to play like all the cool heroes. Like I didn't particularly think that it played fantastic, the Twin Suns deck I had, but like I got to play Chewbacca and Luke Skywalker and Jyn Erso and Marva Andor, like just all these just named characters that were just really fun just to play. So play something that you think is gonna be fun and cards you want to play. I think that's important when you sit down and build a Twin Suns deck.
I would agree. TS is. I was telling some other folks recently. I said to me, TS is like the perfect beer and pretzels kind of game, right? Sit down, have fun with it. Don't take it seriously. Pour a drink, order a pizza, right? Like I look at the GC and I think, man, this year at the GC, I should just go play TS and just have fun hanging out with people and socializing and not worry about am I winning? Like who cares? Just go have a good time.
100%.
So I will say to add on to the having a good time part, if you're thinking about the precons coming out, which will be great for people, but if you're thinking about building a Twin Suns deck, just grab something.
Yes.
The only thing I would pay attention to is the curve. As long as you play attention to, I can play something on turn 1, I'll be able to play something on turn 2 and turn 3. In a singleton format like this, yes, you can have a deck that's bad and you can have a deck that's better than anything else.
But it doesn't matter.
Really doesn't matter.
You're
It's not that it doesn't matter because the outcome of the game doesn't matter, which it doesn't really because it's not a competitive format. But what I'm saying is you have a very strong chance of just randomly assembling a good curve deck with just some leaders that you think are interesting and have that deck perform well, or at least it'll perform well enough that you get a clue as to where you want to take this deck next. You can iterate it the next time. Just grab some cards and 2 leaders you think are cool and that fit that and jump in. And you won't be, if you did that in Premiere, your deck would be all over the place and it wouldn't be any good.
Garbage.
Singleton Twin Suns,
it works fine. Yeah.
It's fine for getting a fun game, and fun in the aspect of you get to move your cards around and you get to interact with the other players game.
I was having that conversation with some folks in Milwaukee, right? We were talking about Twin Suns. I played about, I don't know, 5-6 games of Twin Suns over the course of the weekend. And they just have very similar to this. We were talking about TS, and they were like, I've never built one. I said, here's the thing. It's super easy because it's singleton. And I said, the other thing is you can't, because I said it's singleton. It's 80 cards. You cannot go in with any kind of, I want to draw this card and on turn 2 and play that. None of that. All of that strategy is garbage because you will never, I said, on an average TS game, you're going to see less than a quarter of your deck. So even if you had 3 of them in there, there's a very high chance you would never see it. So it doesn't matter. Put cards in the deck that are fun to play, that are good cards, that match whatever it is you're trying to do on the board, and just play what the deck feeds you. There's nothing else you can really do. And play the board, right? Play the players across from you and make deals and you know, and shake your fist in anger at them, or don't, or stab them in the back, because that's also a totally valid way to play the game. Like whatever, or stab them in the face, also valid. Like it doesn't matter. But
yeah,
I would
good salesman for somebody that doesn't play.
I would tell you no card that cost over 7.
I think 7 is the high point.
When I build decks, I don't put any cards that cost over 5, to be honest.
I think all mine cap at 6.
And I try not to put any events that cost more than 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want units, and the events are few and far between that you end up playing.
I have to have an event that costs 1 or an event that steals your stuff that costs 6. That's all I'll play. I won't play 2s, 3s, or 4s. I think my deck, this deck has a 4 in it, but it's one of those that hits everybody's ground guy for 2. I played one of those.
I play in mine the one, again, I only have one deck built, but if I were to pull it up, it's got a lot of cheap events in it, a lot of 1-costers, timely intervention, close the shield gate, repair, moment of peace, anything that I can just pay 1 and get something out. Oh, I can heal 3 off my base. I can pay 1. And I know you like Eye of Aldani. Ian, you are a big fan of that one.
I love that.
That card is...
We both do.
The 3 or 4 times I have played that going into my leader flip, I have crushed and won those games with such ease. Yeah. Because you got to choose. Are you going to play resources, or am I going to play my guys that I have out?
Yeah.
There's no in between, because dropping a little 2 weenie drop on what's going to be the last turn is not going to help you.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
So your events need to be either game changing, or they need to be something where you played a unit to keep up with everybody else and you got some value out of something that was cheap.
Right.
It's crazy to me, because like whenever I build, I always use blue. Like I have to build blue, because I believe that close the shield gate, in the heat of battle, Eye of Adelphia are win con cards if you can play them at the right time. Like I've used
tough.
Close the shield gate. No, I've used it on someone else's base. This person's teed up. It's my turn. Nope. They're going to get around. I'm going to use my outflank to get them.
That's right? Skanky. I love that.
No matter what, it's going to come back around to me, and I'm going to be able to
love that. That is skanky.
Like, it can literally win you the game by protecting someone else's base.
For you, so that saving them so that you can kill them. That's actually cool. I hadn't thought of using the card that way.
That's an excellent use, but even just using it on your own base, from a political perspective, nobody wants to throw away their attack for nothing.
It's time. So the timing of that is challenging. Yeah.
It protects you from so much stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. The deck that my Imperial deck is red, green, blue, and I just don't feel like I've got all the good stuff in it. Like in general, there's not a lot of amazing Imperial yellow cards, so I don't feel like I'm missing all that much. Right? If I was to build Rebel. Right now, honestly, if I was going to build a Rebel deck, I'd probably start. I like your Saw idea, and maybe somebody like blue, like Saw Jin with a yellow base, and then you literally have access to everything. Like you could have access to every with Tobias and Saw in the mix now. You and the base and one other leader. You're not color limited anymore in terms of the cards you put in, other than hero or villain. If
you play Flip Palp.
You're not even technically limited then.
You're not limited to anything. You can put anything you want. Now, I would tell you that from what I've seen in Flip Palp,
that's challenging though.
Having more cards is actually a detriment.
Yeah.
Because like everything you're trying to do in that deck, whether it's heroism or villain, it does it better if you just pick one.
What if at the start of the game and you draw 5, you draw a fistful of villain cards? You can't ever flip Palp until you draw, and the hero card you draw costs 6. Okay, oops.
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, you can be kind of stuck like that. But yeah, so I would say like if you're thinking about doing that, just be very cautious on having a very good even spread of cards where you're going to end up with a good spread.
Yeah.
Or just build it and give it a try and learn for
see how it
yourself.
plays.
That's the other thing about Twin Suns. It's not competitive. If something looks interesting, throw it together.
Just play
it a few times, and if you don't like it, tear it apart. Like, it's no big. Like, who cares? You're not playing for money. You're just playing to sit around and enjoy hanging out with your friends. So, which is ultimately kind of the point of the whole game to begin with, when you get right down to it, isn't it?
100%.
Well, guys, we pretty much hit all of the topics that I wanted to hit tonight. Is there anything kind of straggling that you want to touch base on before we call it an episode?
I don't think so. We had on here to talk about the Twin Suns, the pre-con Twin Suns leaders.
I don't know that
that's necessary.
I think we should
probably ask a draft question to you guys too, because we have a draft coming up soon.
Yeah, fire it up.
How are you guys going to draft this set? Like, I'm really
I'm not sure yet.
Undecided. Like, you're going to have to really choose your 2 colors really fast.
Yeah.
To try to figure out what you're going to draft, I guess. I don't know. Like, part of me just wants to draft 2 drops and be like 2 drops.
So
2 drops.
Here's one of the philosophies that I have on draft, right? Most of the time when you open a pack, the most impactful cards in the pack, not always, but generally the most impactful cards in a pack are in the uncommon or rare slots. Okay. In this set, the overwhelming majority of the uncommon cards are triple aspect. And a non-zero amount of the cards that are going to go in that rare slot are rare slot or legendary slot are triple aspect cards. I think the hard part, and I might do a video on this at some point. I think the hard part is going to be identifying which of the triple aspect cards are impactful enough in limited play that they're worth either grabbing to try and build them in or grabbing to deny them to the other people in the draft pod with you. I have not spent enough time looking at the triple aspect cards we have to have a good sense of what that is yet. There are some good ones. You talked about Zeborelios. Zeborelios is a good triple aspect card. Is he a game-defining card? Probably not, but he's good. So I don't know. I think it's tough. I also think
very terrified. I'm gonna draft and not have 30 cards.
I mean, it's entirely possible. I think if you're intending to compete in limited SQs, PQs, whatever this set, I think building sealed in this set is, we talked about it earlier. It's challenging, but it's doable. I think learning to draft this set is going to be a skill all its own. And I think if they continue this triple aspect thing going forward, and we've seen no indication that they're going to stop. So I think it's safe to assume that the future of the game looks like Lawless Time in terms of set design, right? That we're all going to have to figure out how to do it. So there's probably some value in practicing drafting. Get some friends together, crack some boxes and, practice. I know. I've already been invited to do some of that locally, and unfortunately it's on a weekend I can't make it, but I want to do more. I definitely want to do some.
So one of the things that I would look at, so if I'm going to draft this set, it'll only be the first time I draft it, because I'll update this after I've drafted it one time. But the first thing I'm going to do is probably for the first 3 cards, I'm just going to take the best card in the pack, whatever I think the most impactful card in the pack is. That will be shaded. The second and then the third picks will be slightly shaded by what I already took. If they just happen, if it's a dead even and they happen to match what I already had, then that'll be the decider. One of the other things that I think works in your favor, or at least allows you to make a more informed decision on that second and third picks, is that it is open information what leaders they have. They have them laid up face up in front of them.
Yes.
So if you're faced between like a green red or a blue yellow, and you look at the person on your right and they have an amazing blue leader, then maybe that's gonna, and like they may have a red or a green leader, but that's like they're like one of the crappy leaders. So you could use that information to shade you to pick the red green card, because they're gonna help you. They're gonna pass you some stuff.
So you're saying you're going to make an early decision on your 2 colors, basically.
Well, yeah.
The best card in your pack is probably going to be triple aspect.
More than likely.
But I'm going to be willing to abandon one of the first 3 picks. So I'm going to take whatever the best card. So if the first card is a red, green, black, I'm going to take that. I get another pack and there's not an amazing red, green, black card or a red card. Like the best card in the pack is now blue, yellow. I'm going to take that. Unless there's something else that is comparable that would go with the first one. So I'm just going to, whatever I think the most impactful card of the first 3 packs are, I'm going to take that. And then if they're spread across different aspects, then I'm just going to be prepared to either splash or abandon one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But by that time, you'll start seeing cards come through and you'll have an idea of what's available. And then it should match up with at least something that you've already grabbed that's going to be super impactful.
One of the noteworthy...
I'm super worried about draft. Super worried. Like that I'm just going to put together this janky pile of junk.
One of the noteworthy things that I think is important when you go to draft, and even in sealed when you play in this format in limited and A Lawless Time, I think Lost and Forgotten is easily the most impactful common card in the entire set. Because if you're sitting down across from somebody that's playing blue, and they opened 6 packs of cards, chances are they've got at least one. And I think it's pretty safe bet that the first, we talk about when you play limited and sealed, you're going to draft, you're going to come up with your bombs, right? Your 5 to 7 drops, 5+ drops that are going to try and close the game out for you. It's almost guaranteed if you're playing somebody who's going to play blue, the first one of those you put on the board is going to die. And you might never get to swing with it, depending on timing. I've experienced that in at least 2 of my sealed games, right, that we've played in pre-releases. Just you play it, it just dies. Doesn't matter what it is, it just dies. It's not your leader, it's dead. And they get to heal. So, if you're looking at the game from the perspective of, oh, my first pack I opened a Maul, great, draft him. He's probably pretty good, but is that necessarily the first card you want to windmill slam on the table once you can afford him? Maybe not. Depends on the game situation. That's all I'm saying.
Good point.
Okay, we good? Should we wrap it up there? Cool. All right, guys. Well, as always, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Please be sure and leave us a star rating, a like, a subscribe, whatever platform you happen to participate and engage with us in. This week's email address, I think we should go with... I
got one.
Oh,
it's
you
Trey
do?
is right at onthebutton.xyz.
Oh, okay.
Trey is right at onthebutton.xyz is how you get your feedback on the air.
Well, that'll work for this week, but next week... We're going to have next episode, it'll have to be something different because we can't repeat these.
It'll have to be something different. No, I can't repeat
these.
But today, Trey is right.
Okay, fair enough. I'll allow it. Ian's just grinning and shaking his head like, I can't believe I'm seeing.
I know we're going to play Twin Sons again, and he's going to be like, let's make a deal, and I'm going to tell him to go shove.
You're going to be like,
I'm just going to be like, no.
Bam!
And then I'm going to do what I always do and put all my targets at Trey.
Anyway, guys, appreciate it. Hey, get out there, play your games, enjoy your local community, have fun with the new set. It's pretty exciting. This is a lot of good cards in this set, and it's a ton of fun to play with. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll catch you next episode. Peace out.